A woman suddenly faints at 30,000 feet. Her body slowly slid downward, picking up speed as she fell. In an instant, the woman jolted awake. She desperately reached for the ropes of the hot air balloon, but it was already too late. Completely losing her balance, she plummeted straight into the abyss below. Yet, against all odds, something unexpected happened. When she opened her eyes again, she realized the safety harness had saved her. But the situation was far from reassuring. She was now dangling at 30,000 feet, her hands numb from the freezing cold. She knew she wouldn't last much longer. She screamed for help to her companion in the basket, but he was unconscious, his condition unknown. With her strength fading fast, she had to get back inside, or she would die. Wrapping her legs around the rope to keep from slipping, she mustered every ounce of strength to swing her body. She hoped momentum would carry her back to the basket. After a desperate struggle, she finally grabbed hold of the ropes and, against all odds, hauled herself back inside. But the danger wasn't over. Now at 43,000 feet, 13,000 meters, the hot air balloon was still climbing uncontrollably. The release valve was frozen shut, preventing them from descending. The lack of oxygen had already knocked her companion out cold. He needed help immediately. The only way to survive was to manually open the valve above. Without hesitation, the woman began climbing the balloon's exterior. One wrong move, and she'd plunge to her death. But she had no choice. Her hands burned with frostbite, her muscles screamed in protest, and the thinning air made every movement agonizing. She glanced up, the top was still so far away. Then, she reached for a nearby rope, and missed. Her heart lurched as she nearly lost her grip. She gasped for air, her vision blurring. Exhaustion threatened to pull her into darkness, but the thought of her unconscious companion forced her to fight on. Summoning her last reserves of strength, she lunged again, this time catching the rope. Hand over hand, she dragged herself upward. Time was running out. The balloon was still ascending. She tied a rope around her waist as a lifeline and pressed on, each movement deliberate, each breath a battle. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, she reached the top. There was no time to rest, her companion's life depended on her. She slammed her body against the frozen valve, but the ice held firm. Gritting her teeth, she stood up carefully. With one final, desperate kick, the valve broke open. Air hissed out as the balloon began its slow descent. Below, her companion stirred back to consciousness, but the woman had given everything she had.